Hey everyone, Aaron here with Elite Watersports. Have you ever found yourself getting to the beach and just not sure what kite to pump up? And you seem to wander around the beach aimlessly, asking people, what kite are you on? What kite should I be on? And you ever get that advice where they tell you to go big and you get out there and it's out of control? Well, I'm going to make it easy for you guys. Stay tuned and I'll get into the exact details that goes through my head before I select the right size for me. This video is all about building confidence, whether you're a beginner or an advanced rider trying to figure out what size kite to pump up for the day. We want to first start with all the different resources we have through this little guy, the phone. We want to go through our apps. We want to go through the NOAA station, whatever works for your region. And if you're new to that region, just bop around on iKitesurf or Windy or all those different apps and see and figure out what the trend is for the day. The actual wind on the meters on those apps aren't going to be necessarily accurate. What's the most accurate? Well, that's the next step. Next step in selecting the right size kite, just get out of your car. Don't stay in the car and look out the window. Get out of the car, walk to the edge of the beach. When we get out to the edge of the beach, we're looking for several different things. Of course, like flags, looking at the water, looking how disturbed it is, or flat, calm, beautiful it is. We're trying to decide what we should do by just simply walking to the edge of the beach. So let's do that first. So here we are right on the edge of the beach, and we're just trying to evaluate this scenario and the situations. We're going to look out there and look at the riders. We're going to look at the size of their kites. We're going to look at how high they're boosting, how much spray is going over the board. But if you want to be super certain, buy yourself a wind meter. Wind meters are super cheap these days, and we even have Bluetooth ones here at the shop. The Bluetooth ones just plug and play into your phone, you hold it up into the breeze, and you know exactly how windy it is. Of course, you got to be away from all these obstructions. You got to be right on the edge of the beach to get the most accurate. And don't hold it down here, hold it up above your head so that you can really get a feel for the wind. After you do that, let's look at what is the normal sizes. What's the average sizes? Right now I'm seeing 10s and 9s, and well, yes, there's a couple 12s. Are the people out on the water on 12s? Well, let's look out. We can see this guy right here is out on a 9-meter kite. The white kite's a 9, the green kite's an 8-meter. So we're already picking up a trend that most guys are out on smaller kites. Next thing I want to do is look at how big those riders are. Are those riders 250 pounds or are those riders 100 pounds? We have to just sit here and evaluate the situation before we go and pull that trigger. One thing that works well for me is I look at their spray pattern. How much spray is coming off their boards? Is it like huge rooster tail and it's blowing across the water once it lands? Well, that's going to indicate a lot of wind. If they're just mowing the lawn, we're not going to have a lot of spray. I'm also going to look at one other huge thing is how high are the kites? Are they averaging really super high? That means that they're really powered up. Those riders are really powered up. If the kite's down low or if they're working it back and forth, and if they're all on 9s, well, probably should go bigger than that. Remember going back to your apps and the knowledge that you've gained from looking at your apps. Is it trending up? Is it gusting? Or possibly you have lulls in between the hides. As a kiteboard instructor, I'm all about setting expectations for the day. I want my student or riders around me to understand what their capabilities are. And what I mean by that is that if you're looking out at the water and you see somebody out on a 10 or a 9 boosting 50 feet in the air, well, there's your sign. Some common sense there says, well, if you want to go 50 feet, put up a 9 or a 10 and not go way smaller than that. There is a cusp in the wind range where about 20 to 22 knots, and many people don't really resort back to this. At about 22 knots, you can ride just about any size kite. It depends on how much you want to work it. I can go out in 22 knots, no problem, at 170 pounds easily on a 5-meter kite. But setting expectations, I'm not going to boost to the moon. I'm going to do 5-foot airs, but man, it's going to be so fun to fly my kite all over the place and do heavy carving transitions and whatnot. So see him go 50 feet and you don't want to, don't go on that size. One super important rule in kiteboarding, the number one rule I like to say is when you leave your house, bring everything. Don't look at that forecast saying that it's going to be blowing 30 all day and leave your 12 at home. Always have the availability to change up, switch up, whatever's needed for the conditions. Also, if you have a 12, don't be the guy stuck on the beach because he only wanted to pump up his 9. If you have wind, don't go chasing wind because the forecast says possibly it might get a little breezier. So with confidence in selecting the right size kite, just go with what you got. Get on back out to the beach or up to the car, grab your bigger kite if needed or smaller kite if needed. When you go and launch that kite and it's too much power, if it's not feeling right, don't go sending it up to 12 o'clock. Leave it down low, bring it back down to the launcher and say, hey, I'm going to change out kite. This isn't right for me. Let's go on over to a different size and have some fun. Let's not forget about just simply walking around and talking to the locals. If a rider's been out here for a couple hours, he's definitely going to know the trend, whether it's going up, down, or gusty. But when you go to ask him, what size kite should I put up? Well, he doesn't understand what's going on in your head, your expectations, your skill of riding. He's just going to look at what he would put up. And the situation where people walk up to me after 20 years of teaching, I don't know what it's like to be 250 pounds. I don't know what it's like to be 100 pounds. I'm just going to go off what I think I should be on at the moment. But there's this little judging factor where I'm putting a lot of factors in my head of who that rider is. I don't know the rider, or if I know the rider, what I would do for the rider. In the end, I just ask them the same questions that I'm teaching you today. Set expectations, know and understand your capabilities, and also look at the trends of other riders that might fit your category of skill level and also weight. This video is all about giving you confidence on the beach, and it takes a long time to really select the kite. In the end, you have multiple kites in your quiver. Pick the right one for you. If it doesn't work out, get your butt back on the beach, put up that other size kite. No big deal. This is Aaron with Elite Watersports, and we're here to help. If you have any questions, leave it in the comment section or give us a call here at the shop, 727-800-2202. And if you ever see the Elite Watersports van on the beach, of course, it's got instructors that will always help you. No problem. Peace.